Beamy, 22, professional friend zone resident, and part-time male bestie. Oh wait, you're reading this? Great, buckle up buttercups because this story is wilder than a Karen at Target. Anyway, been best friends with this girl named Scarlett since college started. She's one of those girls who says things like, "You boys are gross," but then asks me to open jars. We hang out constantly, watch movies together. She even sleeps over sometimes. But every time anyone suggests we're dating, she goes full nuclear denial mode. We're just friends, she insists. Anon is like a brother to me. The brother zone, which is somehow worse than the friend zone, didn't even know that was possible. But hey, I'm used to being the supporting character in everyone else's love story. Speaking of which, you guys reading this probably think you know where this is going. Spoiler alert, you absolutely do not. This story goes places that would make a soap opera writer quit. So we're hanging out at the mall one Saturday doing typical friend stuff. She's dragging me through every store looking for the perfect outfit for some party. I'm carrying her bags like a well-trained pack mule, because that's what friends do apparently. Every time she wants something she doesn't need, she makes this face. You know that cute, pouty face girls make when they want something? That's her exact expression when she wants me to buy her things. Works every damn time and she knows it. We walk past this baby store and she suddenly stops dead in her tracks. Starts staring at this crib display like it contains the secrets of the universe. "That's a really nice crib," she says dreamily. "Yeah, babies seem to like sleeping in those," I respond with my usual wit. She punches my arm. "I'm being serious. Look at the craftsmanship." Starts examining this crib like she's shopping for her own kid. "Scarlett, you're 20 years old and single," I point out. "Why are you crib shopping?" She gets this weird look and says, "Just hypothetically planning for the future." Red flags are going off, but I ignore them because I'm an idiot. "Can we at least look at it up close?" she asks while making that adorable pouty face. God damn, that face gets me every time. We spend 20 minutes in a baby store while she examines every crib like she's buying a house. Other shoppers are staring at us like we're teen parents or something. Finally drag her out before she starts asking about financing options. Later that evening, I'm hanging out with my roommate Daniel, trying to process what happened. "Dude, she spent how long looking at baby furniture?" Daniel asks. 20 minutes, and she took photos of the price tags. That's not normal behavior for a girl who insists you're just friends. Tell me about it, but what am I supposed to do? Daniel shrugs. Maybe she's finally realizing she wants more than friendship. Or maybe she's planning someone else's baby shower and didn't want to explain. We both know that's not what happened, but I'm in denial mode. Fast forward a week and Scarlett texts me to come over urgently. Rush over thinking something's wrong, maybe family emergency or academic crisis. She opens the door with the biggest smile I've ever seen. "Surprise!" she yells. "Come see what I bought for us." Us? That's an interesting word choice for someone who insists we're just friends. Follow her to her living room and there it is. The exact same crib from the mall, fully assembled and ready for a baby. Stand there staring at it like it might explain itself. "Isn't it perfect?" she asks. "It matches the color scheme I picked out." Color scheme for what exactly? For our future nursery, obviously. I pause for dramatic effect while my brain tries to process this information. Guys, this is the part where normal people would run screaming into traffic. But apparently I'm not normal people because I just stand there like a deer in headlights. Our nursery? Well, yeah, when we have kids together. Scarlett, we're not dating, remember? You've made that very clear multiple times. She waves her hand dismissively. Dating is just a social construct. But having babies together is apparently not? Exactly, you get it. I definitely do not get it, but okay. She starts showing me all these plans she's made for our hypothetical future, has a whole Pinterest board called Our Family Dreams, shows me house layouts, baby names, even picked out a family dog. This is all very detailed for someone who friend-zoned me last month. "I never friend-zoned you," she protests. "I just said we shouldn't complicate things with labels." "But we can complicate things with children?" Children aren't complicated, they're a natural expression of love. The mental gymnastics here are Olympic level. Sit down because my legs aren't working properly anymore. Scarlett, you can't just buy a crib and decide we're having babies. Why not? We're compatible. We spend all our time together anyway. And you're the only guy I trust enough to raise children with. That's actually kind of sweet in a completely unhinged way. But what about romance, dating, marriage, the usual steps? She looks at me like I'm speaking ancient Greek. "Those are just societal expectations," she says. "We can skip straight to the important stuff." Important stuff being furniture shopping for imaginary babies? They're not imaginary, they're inevitable. The confidence is both terrifying and oddly attractive. She pulls out her phone and shows me more plans. Has already picked out names. Aurora for a girl, Felix for a boy, has calculated the optimal spacing between siblings. Even researched the best preschools in our area. You've put more thought into our fake family than most people put into real relationships. It's not fake, it's preemptive planning. Cannot argue with that logic because there is no logic to argue with. My phone starts buzzing with texts from Daniel asking how the emergency went. Explain that Scarlett bought a crib and is planning our family. His response is immediate. Fake and gay. No, seriously, Daniel, she has spreadsheets and everything. Pics or it didn't happen. Take a photo of the crib and send it to him. Daniel calls me immediately. Holy shit, dude, she actually bought baby furniture? That's what I've been trying to tell you. This is either the most romantic thing ever or the most psychotic. Probably both. Scarlett notices I'm distracted and makes that cute, pouty face. Who are you texting? She asks suspiciously. Just Daniel telling him about your surprise. What did he say? He said it was fake and gay. She looks offended. It's not fake, I have receipts. Pulls out the actual store receipt, like that proves anything. Hang up on Daniel and focus on the insanity happening in front of me. Scarlett sits down next to me and grabs my hands. Look, I know this seems sudden. Sudden is an understatement. This is like being hit by a freight train of domestic planning. But I've been thinking about this for months. You've been planning our family for months while insisting we're just friends. I was working up the courage to bring it up. And you decided buying a crib was the subtle approach? She nods like this makes perfect sense. Stare at the crib again, trying to understand how we got here. What if I say no to this whole plan? She looks genuinely confused. Why would you say no? Before I can answer, she starts making pouty faces and fake crying. But I already bought the crib, she whines loudly, and I planned everything so carefully. Starts dramatically throwing herself around the couch. Scarlett, you're having a tantrum. I'm expressing disappointment through interpretive movement. The neighbors are definitely hearing this breakdown. Okay, calm down, I tell her. Let's talk about this rationally. She immediately stops the dramatics and sits up straight. So you're considering it? I'm considering it. She jumps up and starts pulling out more folders. Has apartment applications already filled out with both our names. Has researched couples therapy options for when we inevitably argue. Even as a backup plan if we decide we want 3 kids instead of 2. You really have thought of everything. I'm very thorough when I want something. And you want me? Even though I'm basically a professional disaster? Especially because you're a disaster, she says. You're my disaster. That might be the most romantic thing anyone's ever said to me. We spend the next hour going through all her plans and folders. Realize she's put more effort into this than most people put into their careers. Suddenly she stops and gets quiet. There's just one thing, she says nervously. What now? Please don't tell me you've already picked out wedding venues? She makes the adorable pouty face again, but more intense. I may have already bought a second crib? My brain completely shuts down. A second crib? Well, yeah, in case we have twins on the first try. Twins on the first try? She nods enthusiastically. It runs in my family and I've been taking fertility vitamins. Dudes, this is where I should have run. This is where any rational person would have called for help. But instead I just sit there while she explains her twin pregnancy optimization plan. I've calculated the odds, and if we time everything right, we have a decent chance. You've calculated the odds of having twins? Fertility tracking apps are very advanced these days. She shows me charts and graphs on her phone. This girl has turned reproduction into a science project. Okay, I say slowly, let's say hypothetically we do this. And hypothetically, we have twins. Where exactly are we putting 2 cribs and 2 babies? That's why we need the bigger apartment, she says, pulling out apartment listings. I found a perfect 2-bedroom place that's only slightly above our budget. Slightly above our budget, meaning what exactly? We'll need to eat ramen for a year and give up entertainment expenses. So your plan involves financial hardship and potential malnutrition? All great love stories involve sacrifice. Cannot argue with that twisted logic. She continues showing me apartment photos while explaining the twin nursery layout, has already measured everything and created 3D models on her laptop. When did you have time to make 3D models? Last Tuesday when you thought I was studying for chemistry? You skipped studying to plan our hypothetical twin nursery? Priorities, she says with a shrug. Realize I'm dealing with someone who has completely lost touch with reality, but also someone who's more dedicated to our relationship than anyone's ever been to anything. We keep talking and looking at her plans. Every detail has been considered, from baby-proofing to college funds. What if I'm a terrible father? I ask. You won't be, she says confidently. You're patient and kind and funny. You help old ladies at the grocery store and you always share your food with me. Those seem like low qualifications for parenthood. They're the most important qualifications. She grabs my hands again and looks serious. I know this is crazy and fast and completely backwards, but I've never been more sure about anything in my life. I want to build a life with you, even if it's weird and unconventional. Stare at her for a long moment while processing everything. Realize that despite the complete insanity of the situation, she's right about one thing. We do love each other, even if we've been too scared to admit it. Okay, I finally say, but we're doing this my way too. We're going to date first like normal people. Actual dates, holding hands, calling each other boyfriend and girlfriend. She looks disappointed. Dating seems redundant at this point. Humor me. I want to take you places and do couple things. But we're still keeping the cribs? We're keeping the cribs. She squeals and throws her arms around me. Kiss her, and this time it feels natural and right. Still can't believe I just agreed to the most backwards relationship in human history. But looking at her excited face, I realize I don't care about conventional progression. We spend the rest of the evening planning our first official date. She suggests the zoo so we can practice with small humans. Babies aren't zoo animals, Scarlett, but they're similar in terms of supervision requirements. Cannot argue with that logic. Text Daniel later to update him on the situation. So you're actually dating the crib girl now? He asks. Apparently I am. God, I wish that were me, Daniel responds. Daniel, she bought baby furniture before we were even together. Your point being? That's completely insane behavior. Insane? Dude, she's literally planning to have your babies and take care of everything. Do you know how hard it is to find a girl who actually wants that level of commitment? Realize Daniel has a point, but also Daniel has never had a relationship last longer than 3 weeks. 3 weeks later, we're at IKEA picking out matching furniture for our new apartment. She's making the Puss in Boots face at everything expensive. Other couples are arguing about paint colors while we're debating changing table heights. Cashier asks if we're newlyweds based on how much baby stuff we're buying. Not yet, Scarlett says cheerfully, but we're planning ahead. Walk out with 2 cartloads of infant supplies and no actual baby. My roommate Lucas helps us move into the new place. This is either going to be the best relationship ever or a complete disaster, he observes. Probably both, I tell him. We're loading the last of the furniture when Scarlett suddenly stops and looks at me seriously, makes that adorable pouty expression, but with extra intensity. There's one more thing I should probably mention. My heart stops because I'm not sure I can handle any more revelations. She grins and points to her stomach. This is where the twins are going to grow, she says with absolute certainty. I can practically feel them already. Anons, I wish I could tell you this story ends here, but knowing Scarlett, she's probably already planning the college applications. My face when my best friend friend-zoned me into a marriage and twin pregnancy plan. That feel when someone loves you enough to buy duplicate furniture for imaginary children. Lucas just shakes his head and walks away muttering about how some people have all the luck. B-Meet, 24-year-old wage cuck at Best Buy, living the dream of selling HDMI cables to boomers. Every morning I hit up this hipster coffee shop before my shift because their coffee is strong enough to make me forget I peaked in high school. Notice they hired a new barista, some goth chick with split-dyed hair and a pentagram necklace. She's wearing a name tag that says Raven, which is either her real name or she's really committed to the aesthetic. Order my usual diabetes in a cup, basically coffee-flavored sugar milk. She looks me dead in the eyes and says, I sense darkness in your aura. Lady, it's 7 a.m. and I sell electronics. Of course there's darkness in my aura. Grab my coffee and sit in the corner to browse before work. She walks over to my table unprompted and sits down. I need to tell you something, she says all serious. Great. The goth barista is about to recruit me into her coven. I'm psychic and I can read minds, she announces. Nearly laugh, but she looks dead serious, so I just nod politely. Sure you can, I say, trying not to roll my eyes. She leans forward and whispers, You're thinking about that body pillow in your closet. Holy shit, I actually was thinking about my 02 Dakimakura. Panic mode activated. How the hell did she know that? Lucky guess, I stammer. Lots of guys have body pillows. The one you special ordered from Japan, she continues. The limited edition one with the special features? My face goes white because nobody knows about the all-pie mousepad combo. She smirks and goes back to the counter, leaving me in existential crisis. Spend rest of the day paranoid as hell. Keep trying to think about normal shit like sports and weather. Coworker asks why I keep muttering baseball, baseball, baseball under my breath. Next morning I go back because I'm a masochist and also addicted to caffeine. Raven immediately perks up when she sees me. Welcome back. I knew you'd return, she says mysteriously. Order my coffee while actively thinking about tax forms. Your W-2 isn't going to hide what you did last night, she whispers. Flashbacks to my 3-hour edging session intensify. I don't know what you mean, I lie terribly. Sure, and you definitely didn't cry during the Violet Evergarden finale. Okay, that's just a personal attack. Everyone cries during episode 10. She hands me my coffee with a knowing smile. See you tomorrow, Kumar-kun, she says. The Japanese honorific makes it so much worse. This continues for a week straight. Every day she drops increasingly specific bombs about my degeneracy, mentions my hentai favorites, my specific waifu tier list rankings, even brings up that time I tried to learn Japanese just to play untranslated Oroge. Getting genuinely scared she's actually psychic or has cameras in my apartment. One day she catches me off guard with, "Your mom thinks you're still a virgin." How do you know what my mom thinks? I ask suspiciously. Psychic powers, she says, but there's something off about her delivery. Decide to test her abilities because I'm not completely retarded. Next day I come in thinking hard about something I've never done, concentrating on my fictional foot fetish with maximum mental energy. She doesn't mention it at all, just makes my coffee normally interesting. JPEG. Try again the next day thinking about a made-up ex-girlfriend named Jessica. Still nothing. She just talks about the weather. But then she randomly mentions, "Your friend Mike says you've never actually touched a boob?" Wait, she knows Mike? How does she know Mike? Did Mike tell you that? I ask directly. She freezes for a second before recovering. No, I read it in your mind, she insists. Now I'm suspicious as hell. Text Mike later that day asking if he knows a goth girl named Raven. Oh shit, yeah, she's friends with my sister, he replies. We all hang out sometimes, cool chick. The pieces start falling into place. Did you tell her about my body pillow? I text furiously. El Mayo maybe, we were pretty drunk last weekend. That bastard sold me out for laughs. Confront him, and he admits to spilling literally everything. Told her about my hentai collection, my browser history, even showed her my Minimalist account. Bro, she thought it was hilarious, said she knew you from the coffee shop, wanted to know more about the weird guy who whispers to himself. I whisper to myself? Since when do I whisper to myself? Realize I've been unconsciously narrating my thoughts out loud. Every customer at that coffee shop probably thinks I'm insane. But wait, if she's friends with Mike's sister, she must know even more. Text. Mike's sister, Sarah, who I've known since middle school. Hey, did you tell your new friend embarrassing stories about me? Oh my god, yes. Your mom told me so many good ones at dinner last week. My mom? My own mother betrayed me? She mentioned the maid outfit thing, Sarah adds. And the time you got caught with the... Stop reading and throw my phone across the room. Everything makes sense now. Raven has been getting intel from multiple sources. She's not psychic, she's running a goddamn intelligence operation. Next morning I march into the coffee shop ready for confrontation. She sees me coming and actually looks nervous. Listen, I know you're not psychic, I start. You've been talking to Mike and Sarah and apparently my own mother. She at least has the decency to look guilty. Okay, yeah, you got me, she admits. But in my defense, your friends really love talking about you. They have so many stories, it was like a gold mine. Plus your mom friend requested me on Facebook and she's chatty. My mom is friends with her on Facebook, of course she is. So this whole psychic thing was just to mess with me? Pretty much, yeah, she shrugs. Mike said you were gullible and I wanted to see how far I could take it. Plus, you do actually whisper your thoughts out loud. Like right now you're whispering, I can't believe this bitch. Look around and several customers are staring at me. I've been narrating this entire confrontation. No wonder everyone knows my business. So what now? I ask, defeated. Now I make your coffee and we pretend this never happened? Or, she pauses, you could take me on a real date, instead of just staring at me while you whisper about my thighs. Did I mention she has really nice thighs? Because she does. You want to date me after all this? I ask incredulously. What can I say? I like broken men with mommy issues. I don't have mommy issues, I protest. Anon, you own 3 MILF-themed figures. Your mom showed me pictures of your room. My mom gives tours of my shameful room to strangers. This is the darkest timeline, but also this cute goth girl is asking me out. My dick overrides my brain and I agree to the date. She suggests an arcade bar downtown. Spend the whole week paranoid about what else she knows. Text Mike threatening bodily harm if he reveals anything else. Too late, bro. We had drinks yesterday, he responds. She knows about the incident that shall not be named. Consider witness protection, but decide to face my fate. Meet her at the arcade and she's wearing a Sailor Moon shirt. I heard you had strong opinions about Sailor Jupiter, she says immediately, going to murder Mike slowly and painfully. We play House of the Dead while she drops random embarrassing facts. Sarah says you sleep with a nightlight. Your mom mentioned you still can't use chopsticks. Mike showed me your deviant art from high school. That last one makes me die inside. Why are you doing this? I ask between zombie headshots. Honestly, because you're cute when you're flustered. And your friends love you enough to have all these stories. Even if they're embarrassing, it means people care about you. Weirdly wholesome take on my humiliation. We move to the racing games and she's surprisingly competitive. Trash talks me the entire time while drifting perfectly. Bet you can't drive this well in real life. I don't have a license, I admit. I know, your mom told me about the 3 failed tests. Is there anything my mom didn't tell her? After thoroughly destroying me at Initial D, we grab drinks. She orders something black with too many ingredients. I get a beer like a normal person. So what's your actual deal? I ask. Like, why did you really want to mess with me? She thinks for a moment before answering. Honestly, Mike talked about you all the time. Made you sound funny and weird, but in a good way. Then I saw you at the coffee shop talking to yourself about anime. And I thought, this dude needs help but might be fun. So you decided to pretend to be psychic? It worked, didn't it? We're on a date now. Can't argue with results, even if the methods were insane. She tells me about her actual life beyond the goth psychic persona, works at the coffee shop to pay for vet school, has 3 cats named after Evangelion characters, draws disturbing but talented webcomics in her spare time. Suddenly she's a real person and not just my tormentor. Want to see something really embarrassing? She asks. Pulls out her phone and shows me her archive of our own account, hundreds of My Hero Academia fanfics. We all have our shameful interests, she says. Yours are just more visible because you announce them. I don't announce them, I protest. Literally, everyone in the bar turns to look. I was definitely yelling about my interests. See, you're doing it right now, she laughs. Earlier you explained the entire plot of Steins Gate to the bartender. I thought that was in my head, but apparently not. We bond over shared weeb interests and social anxiety. Turns out she's just as broken as me, but better at hiding it. Exchange numbers with plans for a second date. I'll try not to traumatize you with more family secrets, she promises. Please do. My mom probably has photo albums ready. She definitely does, with annotations. Been dating for 6 months now. She still pretends to be psychic sometimes. We'll randomly guess what I'm thinking and nail it 50% of the time. The other 50% she's way off, but I play along. Mike thinks it's hilarious that his prank got me a girlfriend. Sarah posts couple photos of us with captions like Beauty and the Beast. Mom already planning our wedding and showing baby photos to Raven. Found out she's in a group chat with all of them. They share embarrassing stories about me daily, but also Raven defends me when they go too far. Caught her telling my mom I'm actually very sweet when he's not being a gremlin. My face when I got reverse engineered into a relationship. That feel when your entire social circle conspired to get you laid. Still whisper my thoughts, but now she finds it endearing. She whispers hers back and they're just as degenerate. My face, when we're both disaster humans but together. That feel when the fake psychic goth GF was the therapy I needed.